Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your July 2018 general readings. Thank you for joining us and thank you for all your likes, shares, subscribes, and your support and feedback, and welcome any newcomers who are with us for the first time. And always a thank you to all of my clients out there, regular and new, for the busyness and the personal one-on-one readings. As most of you who follow me know, if you care for a personal one-on-one reading with me, if you're interested in that, you can get more information and my contact details by clicking on the About button on my YouTube channel's homepage or the description bar of all the videos I post. Turnaround time is pretty fast for personal readings. I do them full-time 5 to 6 days a week. It is what I do. So I can usually get back to you within the first day or the first 24 hours. And scheduling can be anywhere from a few days upwards of a couple of weeks, but almost always within a 2-week period of time or so we can set something up for you live or recorded. I do a wide variety of readings in all areas of life. So contact me if you're interested. For those of you who like to use the smartphone app Instantgo, you can find me on there too under Irish Gypsy. That link's also provided for quick answers to those quick, easy questions. Okay, let's get right into this. This reading is for the Earth sign of Taurus for the month of July 2018. Make sure to watch your rising and your moon sign if you know them. They can provide additional clarification for you. General readings, because there's so many of you watching, will always resonate a bit differently for everybody in the details and specifics, although the energy and advice always remains the same. Okay, Taurus, let's see what's in store for you for July 2018. Okay, we begin with the Eight of Wands, followed by the World. We have the Four of Pentacles, followed by the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Eight of Pentacles, followed by the Fool, and the Ace of Wands, followed by the Eight of Cups. And from the bottom of the deck, overall energy, guidance, and focus for the month of July 2018 is the Seven of Wands. So Taurus, I feel like for some of you, I almost feel an even split in this reading, that some of you are fighting to hold on to something, perhaps in job or career path or a project of some kind, or something in that tangible Pentacles energy area of your life. And in spite of the fact that there might be a new opportunity or a new beginning in front of you, some of you I feel might be leaving something that you've been doing for quite some time, that you've been putting a lot of effort into in order to have a new beginning. And I feel like for some of you, and it feels like an almost even split. For others of you, I think that you're going to make the decision not to take a new direction and hold on to what you have or what you have been doing based on the decision that you feel is best. Overall energy and focus, your crowning card from the bottom of the deck is the Seven of Pentacles. This is a somewhat defensive card. It's a card about having something of yours challenged, something that you've put a lot of work or effort into. You can see this man is standing in front of the door to his home, castle, keep, a belief system, something that he feels very strongly about, because there's a feeling that he is threatened or challenged, or what he is holding fast onto is being threatened or challenged in some way. Now, what this is going to vary for everybody. It can, I mean, it might be an actual piece of property. It might be a set of belief systems or ideas or convictions you have. And this card can kind of go either way. This card is sometimes about having a way of thinking challenged, or a belief system, or something that you believe in or have believed in for quite some time too. If it's not an actual thing like a job, property, or something of that sort, or a relationship, it can represent standing up for you, yourself, someone else. But it's a card that speaks about being challenged, and sometimes it's about, you know, belief systems or a way of looking at something challenged. Don't be afraid to have this challenged, even if you don't completely understand how to defend what you believe in. Sometimes being challenged and having to answer that challenge can help us understand our own beliefs and ideas better, and our conviction will hold fast on them. Sometimes this card represents holding on, being too defensive about something, and it can ask us to examine, you know, what are we holding on to? Are we, you know, especially for those of you who have a new beginning in front of you, or an opportunity to go in a different direction or a new direction. You may, you know, not want to do that because you may be holding on to something that might not be working for you anymore. And the Seven of Wands can sometimes challenge us to take a look at that. Are we holding on out of stubbornness, obstinacy, or simply because it's something we've been doing, or a way of looking at something for a long time? This can call on us to examine what we're holding on to and ask ourselves if holding on to that is still worthwhile for us. And if not, then to give up and let go and turn into a new direction. And again, I feel like it's almost half of you are on one side of this and almost half of you are on the other, meaning that I think that some of you are going to decide maybe at the end of the month, yes, I'm going to go in this new direction, or no, I'm not going to go in this new direction because I'm going to hold fast onto something. And I feel like whatever you choose, it's going to be, or you're being asked to make sure to look at why you are going, or why you might be saying yes or might be saying no, and make sure that it truly is based on what you feel is actually authentic and good for you. At the beginning of the month, end of June, beginning of July, we have the Eight of Wands and the World. So the Eight of Wands is a communication card. It can speak of conversations and communications, which in the technologically savvy world we live in today can come in a lot of different forms: phone, face-to-face, email, text, etc. Typically this isn't face-to-face conversations, but sometimes it can be. Conversations, communication, messages flowing back and forth. And what clarifies it is the World, which is a card of completion. It's the last major arcana card in the deck. And it's a card of completion and achievement. The underlying energy is that something has truly and thoroughly run its course. You're not going to get anything else out of it. You've done everything in this area and this significant chapter of your life that you came to do. And even if you choose to stay, you're probably not going to get anywhere else. It's a card of looking towards the future and examining the potentials, you know, reaching the top of a mountain, reaching a completion stage, and asking yourself, what else are you capable of? What else can you accomplish? Kind of, you know, reaching very high, looking very high, and looking very far off into the distance into what you're actually, you know, what might be the next thing that you can go to. Even though there may be this sense of maybe wanting to hold on to something which you've been doing for quite some time. So it looks like there's a lot of communication or conversation about that and messages about that at the end of June, beginning of July. Next we have the Four of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. So what this actually is about is going to vary. I always like to look at the elemental energy in the tarot cards to see if there is an abundance of this particular energy versus that. Here we have 2 Pentacles and 3 Wands, 1 Cup. Wands is fire energy. You have 3 Wand cards and 2 Pentacles. The rest is, and 1 Cup, and the rest is major arcana cards. You have 3 major arcana cards. So Wands is fire energy, and in the tarot, this is action-oriented energy. This is the energy of building and creating and manifesting. So the fact that you have, and it requires action, and you have the Eight of Wands. You know, we started out with the Eight of Wands and the World, which are both cards about kind of manifesting. Wands is about creating and building, and it can sometimes point to artistic or creative endeavors or projects, and career path as well. Pentacles is earth energy, and it usually manifests in the area of our life that's earthly and concrete and is tangible, things we can see and touch and feel, or tangible results of the efforts we put into things like money, property, job, resources, assets, or what you do in your day-to-day life to support your day-to-day life. That's work, even if you don't, you know, work outside the home or work a conventional job. So I think for, you know, a lot of you, this is, you know, what it is that you may be being challenged, or you're wanting to hold on to, or considering a different direction, maybe in a project, work, career path, job. You may be having conversations with other people. People may be having conversations with you about, you know, okay, you've done what you can do here. You know, let's start looking in another direction. What are you capable of? Let's start looking, reaching maybe a little bit higher. So we next have that Four of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. So here we have the earth energy. The Four of Pentacles is a card about holding on. It's similar to the Seven of Wands. This is about holding on to what you have. This is about defending what you've put your efforts into, or some fundamental thing that you're standing on. The Four of Pentacles is a card about holding on. Sometimes it can represent in the financial sense, holding on to your money, being very careful with money. Sometimes I see this card come up and somebody's, you know, maybe perhaps has lost a lot and they're holding on very tightly to what they have left for fear of losing it or fear of what that might mean if they just give up and let go. It can be a card of stability because 4 is a stable structure, but it can also be a card of stagnation. Maybe you're holding on too tightly and it might be preventing you from moving in a new direction, which might provide more abundance for you. Again, I feel almost an even split between you Tauruses, but you're an earth energy itself, and when you really dig your heels in, being the bull that you are, you can be very steadfast and or stubborn. So there's definitely this energy of holding on, but what clarifies it is the Wheel of Fortune right next to the World card here. And the fact that all of your major arcana cards are your clarifying cards. I usually pull a card for each week with a clarifying card. And all your major arcana cards are cards that clarify. So I feel like that's kind of an undercurrent of the universe going, you know, this is happening for a reason. For those of you who it might be in your best interest to let go of something, I feel like the universe is saying, you know, we're supporting this. The Wheel of Fortune is about that divine energy, God, Spirit, your angels and guides. The wheel's always turning. Sometimes we feel like it's turning in our favor, sometimes we don't. It's about energy, divine timing, and orchestration. The Wheel of Fortune can come in and completely change things in the blink of an eye. As you understand, you know, that happens in life changes. In the upright, it does imply a stroke of good luck, of good fortune. It might be some energy coming in for you, Taurus, that enables you to let go, or it might be just, you know, that inescapable divine energy that's coming in to say, look, for those of you who have a new opportunity or a new direction in front of you, you may be afraid of taking this move. It might be an actual physical move as well. A move in job, career path, a project of some kind, something's coming to a completion, or there's conversation about something coming to an end, or maybe this has run its course as a time to do something different, but there's a sense of holding on. And I think for some of you, it's almost as if universe, God, Spirit, your angels and guides is going, this, you need to let go. You need to let go or stop holding on so tightly to this. Some of you may be fighting to hold on to something and you feel that your position is justified as well. And for those of you for whom that might be the case, particularly if there is an imbalance or injustice happening, again, it looks like divine timing and orchestration is going to be working in your favor as well. So next we have the 8 of Pentacles with the Fool, my favorite card. You have the Fool and the World both in this spread. The Fool is the very first major arcana card. He's at the 0. He's just starting out on his journey. He hasn't even taken the first step. Again, this is a card about potential. This is about, the Fool is about the time, that space in between something coming to an end and right before a new beginning, right before taking that first step on a journey. So in that in-between space, the possibilities are endless. Anything's possible, everything's possible. The Fool is wanting to explore the potential, draw on untapped energy, get off the beaten path, do something you've never done before, maybe take a risk. You have a lot of energy in here, Taurus, about exploring your potential. And I'm actually kind of feeling now that there may be more of an abundance in those of you who are maybe holding on or resisting a new direction and a change. I feel like for some of you, the challenge is going to be in taking something in a new direction or starting a new change. I know that for some of the earth signs, you're a very grounded sign, and sometimes it can be very difficult to step out of what we feel is comfortable. It can be about, because this looks like you're being called upon to step out of your comfort zone and go in a new direction for a lot of you. I actually think all of you are being called upon to look at that there's an opportunity. I just don't think that all of you at the end are going to be making the decision to take that opportunity. But I feel like there's a lot of you that Spirit is supporting this and saying that it would be that maybe perhaps you've done everything that you can do in this job, on this career path, in this project. It could be relationship, although I'm not really getting a whole lot of that here. The Eight of Pentacles is that work card. It's a card of putting your efforts into something that you've been putting your efforts into for quite some time, because we're at an 8 here and 10s represent completion. I call it the worker bee card because whether it's a job, career, project, whatever you do in your day-to-day life that support the work that you put into your life to support your life, it can represent a lot of work, working steadily, maybe repetitively, maybe working a lot. And what clarifies it is the Fool. It's about exploring that untapped potential, taking a look at that. But again, I feel like there's this resistance to kind of step out of the comfort zone into a new direction. And it looks like at or towards the end of the month. So at or towards the end of the month, we have the Ace of Wands and the Eight of Cups. So I feel like this is where I feel like it's split between you guys. Here we have this wonderful action-oriented new beginnings, more fire energy here with wands, and aces represent the number 1. So they always represent the start of something new, a new path, an opportunity. This is an action-oriented opportunity. Remember, fire is creative energy. It's inspirational energy. It's about building and manifesting. So there's an opportunity to go in a new direction. It requires action. This is a seed that when you plant it, it requires action and careful nurturing. Now, what clarifies that is the Eight of Cups, which is the walking away card. This represents leaving something behind because for a variety of reasons, whatever reasons, there's a sense of maybe disappointment, disillusionment, something's run its course, you've come to the end of tasting most, if not all of these cups, and it's just not doing it for you. There's not a sense of fulfillment, particularly emotionally. So this man has made up his mind to turn his back and walk away. There's always kind of a bit of an air of uncertainty because he may not be entirely certain what direction he's going in because he's still surveying the horizon, but he has made up his mind to walk away from this. So this is where I feel like the group splits here. I think that some of you are going to be leaving behind something that you have been doing for quite some time, investing and working at for quite some time to go in a new direction. There's a new opportunity in front of you which requires action. You must move forward into this. Some of you, I feel like it's almost inevitable, like Spirit is actually just kind of making it almost impossible for you not to take this new beginning. Some of you, I feel like, are going to make the decision to stay where you're at because that's where you're comfortable, that's where you're safe, that's where you feel that you don't want to take things in a new direction, and that's okay too. I'm not a big believer in one completely right path and one completely wrong path unless you're on a path that is obviously toxic and negative and harmful. In that case, you have to do what's best for you. You know, sometimes we live in a free will zone, as I always say. Sometimes Spirit can show that this path looks a bit brighter or looks a bit, you know, more positive. Sometimes paths can be presented which look very challenging, but the reward we get for walking on them is quite high. So for those of you who are making the decision to go in a new direction, great. And for those of you who don't, that's fine too. It's a different path with different lessons and different opportunities on it as well, because I feel like in terms of who goes and who stays, I feel like it's kind of even. There is this sense of holding on and defending something or wanting to kind of hold on to something, whether it's an actual thing, property, job, career, or a way of looking at something or a belief system. You're being asked to take a look at something. Something may have run its course, regardless of what that is, because in general readings, the details and specifics will vary depending on who's watching. But the energy fundamentally remains the same. I'm not getting a strong sense of advice one way or the other. I think this is, you know, one that I think those of you who make the decision to take this new opportunity and move in a new direction are going to do it because you feel it's the right decision. And I feel like those of you who decide to stay and hold on to what you've been working at or investing in, you're going to do it because that's what you feel is best for you. The only kind of advice that I'm getting here is to examine your reasons for holding on or not letting go and make sure that it's what's best for you before you make this decision one way or the other. So Taurus, that pretty much wraps up your reading for July 2018. I hope you found it helpful and useful. Again, if any of you are interested in a personal reading, for more information and my contact details, you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage, click on that little About button. Please feel free to email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to work with you and set up a reading with you, live or recorded, as quickly as we can. And you can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo for quick answers to the quick, easy questions. So Taurus, I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the July 2018 mid-month readings. And until then, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Take care, Taurus, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.